Support for Steppin Out comes in part from the Kristovich family in honor of Mary Lou and Bill Kristovich. And by New Orleans Tourism Marketing Corporation, New Orleans, where stories are created. This program is sponsored in part by the Eugenie and Joseph Jones Family Foundation, a local foundation proud to support the arts and culture in the greater New Orleans area.
I'm Peggy Scott Laborde, and welcome to Steppin Out, spotlighting the New Orleans area's arts and entertainment scene. Seated at our table tonight, Gwen Thompkins, host of the radio program Music Inside Out, airing twice weekly on WWNO Radio. Hey, welcome back, kiddo.
Thank you so much.
Hi there. New Orleans chef Kevin Belton, who is currently starring in a national public TV cooking show, Kevin Belton's New Orleans Celebrations. Hey, Kevin, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
So excited for you. And of course, it airs on WYES every week, too. Internationally known opera singer and New Orleanian Bryan Hymel. Hi, Bryan.
Hi.
And he'll be performing locally in just 2 weeks. Great to see you once again.
Great to be here.
And Alan Smason of theatercriticism.com. Hey, Alan.
Hey.
And later on, we will have a scene from the NOLA Project's brand new production, The Henchman. But first up, Chef Kevin. Kevin, my goodness, national cooking show, okay, out of the WYES studios, we might add, of course, and brand new cookbook. So tell us about, how do you generate a cookbook with all those shows?
What was neat about this particular book is the fact that it's what I would make if I had a booth at our different festivals and celebrations. So I really got to play with the food in a sense. And what's the other nice thing is I had all the recipes completely done before we started filming. Which sometimes we'll start filming and I'm still working on recipes. But this one came together and I just went off the rails with different things.
Well, it's so exciting, and I know you and Terry Landry, the producer, have had such a long collaboration, but the whole team,
It does, it takes a team.
Whew.
And if anyone wants to know whether they're a good cook or not, cook for a crew.
That's true.
They will
That's a
let
good
you
point.
know how good things are. And the interesting thing, and a lot of people may not realize this when they watch the show, is the fact that I don't make some of the recipes until we're filming.
Gee whiz.
I make them up in the head, but it's become a game where I want to see if this can actually work and come out.
Oh, I love that experimentation, and those photos are so gorgeous. And I remember seeing our wonderful photographer, Eugenie Yule,
Yes.
pull those together right here in the studio as you were making them.
And the other thing about the photographs in the cookbook, Eugenie and I got together and I said, let's try to make this to where it looks like someone would make it at home. So pretty much when I put it together, she didn't go back with tweezers and put everything in the right spot. We plated it and took a picture of it as it should come out.
So exciting. Now, I know you keep so busy with things, but we're going to show a clip from the show. Would you set it up for us a little bit?
I wish everyone could see the crew behind the scenes, okay? This is a clip, I think, of the tamale recipe.
Yes.
And I had never made tamales. I had always eaten tamales. So I decided something I'd never seen was an oyster tamale. So why not? Let's make an oyster tamale. And off we went.
All right. Well, let's take a look from Kevin Belton's Kitchen Celebrations.
I tell you what, gang, growing up as a kid, I grew up eating tamales. Yes, we had a place here in New Orleans that made tamales, and I just got a wild hair and decided to do an oyster tamale. I just like to take a little bit in my hand, and you can spread it out, but you know what? You could just put it right here. This is where I got to watch a friend's grandmother, and when she did this, it was like a work of art. She could do them so fast. There's no amount that goes in. It just depends on if you want it very thick or very thin. It's kind of a personal taste. And I think that's where a lot of folks, when they do this, put their little personal touch to it. How much masa would you like in there? So there we have that. We have it here, and you notice I've taken the oysters and I've put the oysters on a paper towel to dry. So let's take our oyster and just place there. Let's see here, this one isn't too big. Now, here's where a little practice may come in. Pick up your sides, fold it, press it, press it. Now, see how that covered? Now we can just take our hands, fold this over, and then roll it, pull it tight, fold that bottom up, and there we have it. You guys hear that? That's saying they are ready. I heard them talking to me. Look at this. So here's, oh, the smell is so good. So let's put one here. Come on. Let's put one here. This is a little warm, but you all have to see this. You have to see this. I have to open this up to show it to you, to show you how good this looks. You can just see a little peek at that oyster peeking through. Now we can just take a little sauce or a lot of sauce, just depending on how much you like. I did it, I did it. I pulled off the first oyster tamale, baby.
All right, Kevin Belton's New Orleans celebration. Of course, it airs Saturdays at 9:30 a.m. and Sundays at 1 p.m. only on WYES, but nationally. We're so excited. Plus, Kevin, folks, I know you have many, many fans out there. Your contact info, your website, and of course.
The website, they can go on Facebook and contact me. And it's so great to hear from so many kids that are starting to cook again.
Oh,
Yes.
that's really good news.
Yes.
And kudos to your dear wife, Monica, who I know
The
is your
driving
executive
force.
assistant and so
Yes.
much more.
No, she is the.
She is
She
it.
is, yes.
She is the executive. Well, great to
it.
see you once again.
Same here.
And Gwen, I bumped into you at the Jazz Fest last
Exactly.
weekend. Of course, that's the place to be bumping into you. And we have Jazz Fest weekend #2 now.
Yeah, it's the lead story of my life, certainly, and it's just a wonderful, wonderful story. Although I want those oyster, those
Tamales.
man, that would be a great addition to Jazz Festival. But you know, the festival is obviously everyone has their own favorites. Everyone has looked at the cubes, and we all know pretty much what we want to see. But I'm just going to mention a few things that I would like to see. And if you see me on the weekend, just let me know. Just wait. But the Cinderella story of the festival is Jupiter and Oquess. This is a band from the Democratic Republic of Congo. They were at the festival, introduced last year in the cultural pavilion tent, and they blew everyone's socks off to the point where this year they're here. They're on Congo Square stage tomorrow, Saturday at 2:40. They're at the Cultural Exchange Pavilion World Journey stage Saturday after that, and then they're going to end the day at Tipitina's with Galactic in a sold-out show at 9 o'clock. I mean, this is going to be amazing. And the thing about it is that they are from the DRC, but some of their members grew up in Europe, and they have this really interesting melange of sort of social consciousness with universal dance beats with you know what I mean, Mick Jagger moves and David Bowie. You know what I mean? It's really kind of cool. Also, I wanted to mention something about hip hop. You know, this is something a genre of music that the festival has struggled with to some degree, as has WWOZ, because they want to remain family friendly, and oftentimes hip hop lyrics are not family friendly and all. But I want to mention that Pitbull is going to be playing this weekend, and this is not his first time playing, but he is sort of hip hop pop, and he is wonderful. He's from the Cuban diaspora, from Miami, and he is going to be playing, I believe, Saturday evening. Yeah, 5:40. Now, away from the festival, there's also music news, and that is that Herlin Riley, the great drummer from New Orleans, has a new album out. It's called Perpetual Optimism, which I love. And he has a busy schedule. On Saturday evening also, he's going to be at Sweet Lorraine's Jazz Club. That's on St. Claude Avenue. And he's going to be with the percussionist, a wonderful percussionist, Matt Dillon, and NOLA Resistance. And then an hour later, at 9 o'clock, he's going to be at the Prime Example, giving two shows, one at 9 and one at 11. It's a wonderful club right off St. Bernard Avenue. So, I mean, that's every local musician is working extra hard at this this time of year. If I survive that, I'm going to go on Sunday morning to see the Electrifying Crown Seekers. This is a gospel group in the gospel tent at the Jazz Festival. They're going to be performing at 11:50. Follow them up with Cuban jazz, Alexi Marti, and Urban Minds. He's got a new album out, Mondo. And then the big treat of the Sunday evening was going to be Herbie Hancock. And I know there are a lot of other talents out there who are competing for your attention, but my attention is with Herbie right now. He's just a wonderful bridge to bebop and as well as to the the most current aspects of jazz music today.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Gwen.
Herbie Hancock.
Great tips. And New Orleans Magazine's quiz queen Julia Street has a question for us. Last time, Sheila Fenton told us what Jazz Fest areas you would go to if you wanted to see the Lost Bayou Ramblers and then the Shades of Praise choral group. The answers would have been, of course, the Fado stage and the Gospel Tent, respectively. Now tonight's question. An early local rhythm and blues musician is the symbol of the Jazz Fest. Who is he? And what music club was named after one of his songs? Email your answers to steppinout@wyes.org. Our prize is a year's subscription to Louisiana Life magazine and a tote bag with the message Fats That's New Orleans from our friends at wearablevegetables.com, and a pair of free admission passes to either the Audubon Zoo, the Institute, of course, the Insectarium, the Butterfly Garden, the Aquarium. You have your choice. You can go to WYES.org for our online calendar, including Chris Champagne's A Certain Girl, What's Her Name? Can't Tell Ya. A little political satire there. And that's next Friday at Cellos and Metairie. You can also link to our WYES YouTube channel to see our program. And now, Bryan, once again, combining circus and opera?
Yes, kind of backed by popular demand. This was our show Mystique from last year. It was the finale of our inaugural season. And since it was such a big hit, especially for family audiences, everyone was saying, oh, I wish I would have known about this. I wish I would have known that I could have told more people to come and that it would be a family-friendly show.
Well, let's set the stage. The Opus Opera, okay, is your nonprofit.
Correct.
Okay, and you have a group of folks who work very hard to put together these events throughout the year.
Yeah,
and
we always want to pair opera with something that's maybe more accessible. So opera and wine. We did a wonderful presentation here where we had visual arts painting in opera, where we did the songs that had to do with the theme of flowers, and then we had an artist had painted several.
That was a wonderful evening,
yeah,
right here at WYES.
It was really great. So this is the idea. We figured, how outside of the box can we go? And we thought, well, I've been in shows where there have been things like aerialists and other stilt walkers, things like this in it. And I thought, how could we use the circus arts to kind of better tell the story and actually just make a spectacle that, sometimes people are intimidated by having to go see 3-hour opera in a dark theater and you have to get all dressed up. This you don't. You come as you are. And
before we
bring
go
everybody.
on, why don't we show? We have some show and tell here,
Absolutely.
including the music, of course, by yourself.
Yeah.
And let's take a look, of course, at what you can expect in Mystique. Bryan, this is at the Civic. A lot of people have fond memories of the Civic and perhaps haven't been there in a while.
It is, yeah, it's a beautiful
beautifully
theater.
renovated,
It's beautifully renovated. It has 665 seats. So it's probably just about the right size for our Our audience, we don't need amplification because the acoustics are good.
That's amazing.
Yeah, you know, because in opera, that's a big no-no. We don't want to do opera with
Are we hearing
amplification.
Irene's voice, your beautiful wife Irene? I can hear maybe her in the background.
Yes, absolutely.
Is she going to be performing too?
Of course she is, yeah.
And Christine?
And Christina. Christina's going to be doing that. And we have another Louisiana guy, Andre Corville, who's a Loyola grad. And then Weston Hurt, who was just the Rigoletto last weekend, he's going to be there too. So it's kind of an all-star lineup that we have, and we're really looking forward to it.
It's gorgeous, and this must have been right at the very end.
This was the
here.
finale, yeah.
Finale, okay. And we're talking May 17th, so get your tickets 2 weeks from tonight. Yeah,
absolutely.
Wow. A reminder that Opus Opera's Mystique. I love that. Once again, May 17th at the beautiful Civic Theater. And visit opusopera.org to purchase your tickets and more information about all of that too. And what else is coming up in the next few months for you? Where are you going?
Well, I just flew in last night from Dallas where I was doing promotion for a 3 tenors concert that we're doing there, which is really going to be a lot of fun. We have ones planned in Tokyo and St. Petersburg and Toronto and all over the place. But it's kind of a new wave of 3 tenors, as it were. And then this summer I'm in London for Carmen. So, yeah,
goodness.
busy.
How exciting. That's great. Great. But you're a New Orleans guy.
That's right, absolutely.
Very good. Congratulations.
Thank you, Peggy.
And now it is time for our Artist Spotlight. We are featuring the works of acclaimed local artist Roland Golden. This is American Tableau. With a career spanning 6 decades, Golden's work is included in collections and museums nationally, internationally. Here's Day Coach. Wow. More of Golden's work is on view at the Mack Grider Gallery on Julia Street now until June the 1st. And an opening reception for the exhibit will be tomorrow night. Visit mackgridergallery.com for more information. And there'll be many galleries open tomorrow night as part of Jammin' on Julia. Earlier today, we spoke with the NOLA Project's artistic director, A.J. Allegra, about their upcoming production of a new play called The Henchmen, a Shakespeare story, along with a scene from the production. Let's take a look. We're here with A.J. Allegra, artistic director of the NOLA Project, and it's back to the garden again, isn't it?
Absolutely. It's every time the Jazz Festival comes to a conclusion, for us that means it's time to start the garden show.
And of course we're talking about the Best of Sculpture Garden, where there is a play in which you bring your chair and you watch the actors go from scene to scene to scene, and this time it's Shakespeare again. Huh?
Yes, we have commissioned a new sequel to a Shakespeare play. Our first ever production was A Midsummer Night's Dream that we performed in the Sculpture Garden back in 2011. And it was a massive hit. We had so many New Orleanians come out to see it. And we wanted to kind of revamp that magic. So Michael Aaron Santos, one of our company members and the head of Delgado's theater department, he has written a brand new comedic iambic pentameter sequel.
No easy feat.
No easy feat to A Midsummer Night's Dream. And very similarly to the way that we staged Midsummer the first time, we invite the audience to come in. Seating is bring your own, very, I feel like New Orleans parade style. Bring your own. We'll have food trucks out front. Cafe Noma will have a bar set up. We'll start in the oak grove in the back of the garden. That'll be where the first act occurs. And then the audience will transition. They'll pick up their chairs, they'll walk, and we'll finish the play right in the front of the garden. And during the intermission, we actually have the actors on boats. Because part of the story is that they have to travel across the ocean. So we have the actors traveling on boats. So
Well, set up the scene we're about to see.
Oh, sure. This is at the very top of the play, in which we have these two kind of comedic characters, which are they're constables. It's Krantz Rosen and Sterngilden, which are of course inverted names from a famous Hamlet play of Shakespeare's, and they have been sent out by Esau, who is the villain of our piece, and he is the brother of Jacob, who is the main character and who is the henchman. And the henchman is the character that Oberon and Titania are arguing over who possesses the henchman. in the Midsummer Night's Dream. So this is basically, we pick up 15 years later. It's a lot of fun. It's funny. There's a lot of action. I think it'll be a great evening for everyone.
And I know that you all sell out fast.
We
so
do.
Get your tickets. Thank you so much. And now a scene from The Henchman.
Thanks.
Usurpers! Vile usurpers, a coup plot. Treasonous villains that would the throne do.
Quick, find them out, the location exposed. Citizens, hear me. Leave no stone or turned, no door unlocked.
Hold there, deputy and dear brother. Our song be leave no stone unturned, nor no door locked.
Is it then? Yea, methinks a more proper cry that doth make. Amend. Leave no stone unturned, nor door locked. Usurpers!
Usurpers!
Usurpers be underfoot.
Who fit to fiction falsely our prince, Esau the Great, hunter of men.
Sound alarm, stand a sentry, must we all.
Who goes there? Bear forward if ye be true.
Hast thou our outlaw surprised, brave sister?
Soft, didst thou hear? My life would I wager, voices here did but newly conspire.
Yea, if so, vanish it now in night's veil. And yet were my senses not dull and wit dim, sacred eye these statues do stare and smile at we, and sway as if air they breathed. Duh!
'Tis but night-provoked fear that doth fool thee. Come, till felons found, our pursuit resumes. Stiffen thee there, thou treacherous villain!
Be he not treacherous, but treasonous?
Hath not treason the stain of treachery?
'Tis true, all treason be in treachery, but not all treachery be in treason. Many a fiend be to his neighbor vile, yet to his sovereign remaineth loyal.
How loyal if to fiendship he partake? Is not fiend to crown's subject, fiend to crown?
Thy reasoning proves lawful, sister, yet be it so, treason be his accused crime, and therefore should not treason be our cry?
Methinks in flipperies we are mired.
Faith, shall we this debate table until our design duty be done?
Aye, brother. What say ye now, fiend? Hold! Where did he go?
He flees! Pursue him lest we lose our charge!
All right. A reminder that you can see The Henchman at NOMA's Sydney and Walda Bestoff Sculpture Garden. That's from May 8th all the way to May 26th. Visit NOLAproject.com for tickets. Special thanks to our wonderful actors, Khiry Armstead and April Louise. They're terrific. And now, Alan.
So while many of us have been hanging out at the New Orleans Jazz Fest, a little bit up the road, on Bayou Road, as it were, there came some wonderful theater news. The Southern Rep Equity Theater, for the most part, they have actually announced their season coming up, and that's going to be kicking off September the 11th with the regional premiere of August Osage County. This was, of course, the Tracy Letts play that won the Pulitzer Prize for drama back in 2008. It's a comedy and a drama. It's sort of a dysfunctional family that involves issues of mental illness, drug abuse, suicide, and incest. Not your typical comedy. But again, that's going to be August Osage County, starting off the season. Next up, at the end of October, they're going to have another regional premiere. They're going to be presenting Native Gardens. Now, this is an opportunity to examine class differences. It's between a conservative white couple and a Latinx liberal couple, if you will, that the title refers to the backyards that they share with a fence down the middle. And again, the whole idea of building walls and the whole idea of examining class differences. Again, Native Gardens, October 30th till November the 17th. Then, last Christmas, you'll remember Leslie Castay and Ian Hawke got together.
Great.
Ian wrote the book and Leslie directed. They came up with a script about Snowmageddon. Yes, of course. It blanketed New Orleans, of course, during the holidays and kept everyone hunkered down at Benny's Tavern. Well, it's Christmas time again, and believe it or not, they're coming up with another show. It's going to be Ian writing the book, Leslie ready to direct again, Mandatory Merriment Part 2. And whether Alan Payne will return as Benny and the music director remains to be seen, but I see why not. I would expect he would be. Again, that'll be December the 4th through the 29th. Now, just before Mardi Gras, next year, Southern Rep will be presenting Mother Courage and Her Children. You may not be familiar with it. This is a Bertolt Brecht piece that was done, set originally in the 30 Years' War between France and England, but now it's set by Entozaki Shangi, who did, for colored girls who have considered suicide when the rainbow is enough. Well, she actually did this back in 1980, and she reset it in the years following the American Civil War. Wonderful opportunity there to get a lot of people to take the original German and translate it into English. She won an Obie Award for Off-Broadway for the adaptation, and another award went to an up-and-coming actor named Morgan Freeman, believe it or not. This will be, of course, Mother Courage and Her Children in January. Then Reykjavik, a series of vignettes and between locals and Icelanders is going to be going on. That's another regional premiere. It'll be presented in sponsorship with the Saints and Sinners Literary Festival, which is part of the Tennessee Williams New Orleans Literary Festival. That'll be opening up on March the 18th. Then Pamela Davis Nolan tells the story of the historic tale, the thoroughfare itself, of none other than Bayou Road. This is going to be called Chemin du Bayou. Again, this is something that will be of interest, starting up on May the 13th, and I think it's going to be fascinating to see that. Also coming up very soon, want everybody to know about The Pianist of Willinsden Lane. This is a one-woman show that stars a lady by the name of Mona Golubeck. It's starting up next week at Le Petit. This is the story, an inspirational story about the Kindertransport, a little-known story about what happened really just before World War II, in which thousands of Jewish children's lives were saved. And again, that'll be on weekends at Le Petit, starting up on the 10th.
Thank you so much, Alan. And now it's time for our picks of the week. Gwen.
I'm going to pick The War and Treaty. This is a duo at the Jazz and Heritage Festival on Saturday at 4:10 in the Blues Tent. They call themselves just two lovebirds singing without reverb.
Okay. Kevin.
My favorite recipe, the sweet heat fried chicken, which then turns into the fried chicken salad.
Sounds good. Brian.
Yes, my CD, Heroique, we're on Warner Classics, is available on iTunes. So we have another one coming out in a couple of months, but get this one, the French one is the first.
Sounds great. Thank you.
Speaking of Hades, I wanted to talk about CDs. Hadestown just got nominated for 14 nominations for Best Musical, among them on Broadway. All New Orleans traditional jazz. That's going to be on tap. Also, Othello, of course, the Shakespeare piece about the Moor, and we want you to know that that's going to be on May the 4th and the 5th.
Okay, thank you. And now time for my picks. The Audubon Zoo's Cool Zoo and Lazy River will be opening for the summer season, and this weekend, actually, and it's starting this Saturday. If you're going to the Jazz Fest, jeweler Patrice McMurray will have a booth at Tent E at the Louisiana Marketplace area. Also at Jazz Fest, the Hazel and the Delta Ramblers Bluegrass Troupe, they'll be at the AARP Rhythoporium stage this Sunday from 1:45 to 2:30. There'll be a benefit concert for the Notre Dame Cathedral this Sunday at our St. Louis Cathedral. The concert is at 3:30 p.m. Admission is free, but of course you can certainly donate, and you can also do that or visit the website that you see on the screen to help out. Speaking of donating, please consider supporting WYES TV on Give NOLA Day, which is next Tuesday. Your generous support keeps Steppin Out rolling every week, as well as informed sources on our wonderful documentaries. Go to WYES.org to donate. Looking ahead, there'll be a Mother's Day buffet next Sunday at the Homa House, of course, wonderful place in Darrell, Louisiana, and the Thomas and McMahon Cancer Foundation will be hosting an event at the historic Montalba Apartments May 19th. Regular admission, $100. Anybody under 40, $75. Visit you see the information on the screen on that website. And thank you all very much, and thank you for watching. Good night.
This program is sponsored in part by the Eugenie and Joseph Jones Family Foundation, a local foundation proud to support the arts and culture in the greater New Orleans area. And by New Orleans Tourism Marketing Corporation, New Orleans, where stories are created. Support for Steppin Out comes in part from the Christovich family in honor of Mary Lou and Bill Christovich.